So before we start the class, what about the slokas? Last week, what was the sloka?
4.13, Prabhu.
4.13. So you are ready? Yes. Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, okay, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Chaturvarna maya system guna karma vibhagasha tasya kartaram api mam vidhi akartaram avyayam.
Very bold.
Hare
Mayuri
Krishna.
Mataji?
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विधि अकर्तारम् अव्ययम्.
Very bold. Sachi Mataji?
चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणाकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमभिमां विद्य अकर्तारमव्ययम्.
Very bold. Arun Prabhu?
Prabhu, I'll see and read, Prabhu.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Chaturvarnyam maya shastram gunakarma vibhashasah tasya kartam abhimam vidya akartaram avyayam.
Mini Mataji, you want to try?
Yes, Prabhu. I had recited on last Thursdays. I'll try again.
Okay.
Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam gunakarma vibhagasah tasya kartaram api mam vidhi akarataram avyayam.
Vidya Kartaram Abhyam. Yes, okay, very good. And next week, text 14, we can learn. Okay. That is Namam Karmani Limpanti Name Karma Phale Spraha Iti Mam Yo Abhijanati Karma Bhirna Badhyade. Okay, that is 14. Namam Karmani Limpanti Name Karma Phale Spraha Iti Mam Yo Abhijanati Karma Bhirna Sabadhyade. That is, there is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work. Okay, so 14. So let me share the screen now. Chapter 8, which text, Mataji?
8.4 Prabhuji.
8.4. Okay. Hare Krishna. So reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, text 4. Adibodham sharo bhava purushashadi daivatam adhiyatnyoham aham evatra dehe deha bridambara. Sachi Mataji?
अधिभूतं शरो भावः पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम् अधियज्ञो अहं येवात्र देहि देहाभृदम्बरा.
Revolt. Arun Prabhu, translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
We couldn't hear you.
Hare Krishna.
I'll read the translation, Prabhu.
Yeah.
O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature which is constantly changing is called Adi Bhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and the moon, is called Adi Deva, and I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adi Yajna, the Lord of Sacrifice.
Very good. So of the best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing is called Adhibhuta. So what is constantly changing is called the Adhibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all demigods, like those of the sun and moon, is called Adi Deva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul, in the heart of every embodied being, am called Adhiyatnya, the Lord of the sacrifice. So the physical nature is constantly changing. Material bodies generally pass through 6 changes. Okay, this is called Shad Parinam. Okay, so the physical nature is constantly changing. Okay, we are undergoing these 6 parinams, 6 transformations from birth to death. So these stages are: they are born, they grow, they remain for some duration, they produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and they vanish. So this is how this transformation takes place in one's own life. No, we take birth and we grow, then we remain for some duration, as youth, then produce byproducts, we produce children, then we slowly start dwindling, then they vanish. That means death. Okay, so these are the transformation that takes place even for any living entity for that matter. So this physical nature is changing, ever changing. We are not static. When we were born one day, are we the same person today? And after 10 years, will we be the same person? No. So it keeps changing. So that's called Adi. What is this? Adi Bhutam. Adi Bhutam. Okay. Then Adi Devik. Okay. That is, so it is also given here. Okay. This physical nature is called Adi Bhuta. It is created at a certain point and will be annihilated at a certain point. The conception of the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods and the different planets, is called Adi Devata. So when we take this creation, nothing but the Supreme Lord, that is called Adi Devata, because there's nothing but Supreme Lord only. You cannot separate anything from this material world from Supreme Lord. And from that perspective, so everything, that inclusive of everything, including the demigods, is also called, that physical nature is also this thing also called Adi Devata. And present in the body along with the individual soul is the super soul. So as a super soul, that the Supreme Lord's expansion as Paramatma is called, the Adi Yajna, a plenary portion or plenary representation of Lord Krishna. The super soul is called the Paramatma or Adi Yajna and is situated in the heart. The word Eva is particularly important in the context of this verse, because by this word the Lord stresses that the Paramatma is not different from him. The super soul, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, seated beside the individual soul, is the witness of the individual soul's activities and is the source of the soul's various types of consciousness. So where is the super soul situated? Just next to, along with the individual soul. And what is he doing? He is witnessing each and every activities of the individual soul. Okay. The super soul gives the individual soul an opportunity to act freely and witnesses his activities. The functions of all these different manifestations of the Supreme Lord automatically become clarified for the pure Krishna conscious devotee engaged in transcendental service to the Lord. The gigantic universal form of the Lord, called Adi Devata, is contemplated by the neophyte who cannot approach the Supreme Lord in his manifestation as super soul. So this is for this manifestation of the Virat Rupa or universal form is meant for the neophyte who cannot comprehend the super soul aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, who cannot comprehend the aspect of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so this is for the neophyte. Everything, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahman, that is a concept. Everything is Brahman. So they cannot comprehend this Paramatma aspect, the Bhagwan aspect. So for them, yes, for that is the neophyte. So the neophyte is advised to contemplate the universal form or Virat Purusha, whose legs are considered the lower planets, whose eyes are considered the sun and moon, and whose head is considered the upper planetary system. Okay, so like that. So this is the feet is the lower planetary system, and right? How is it mentioned? Yeah, legs are considered lower planets, eyes are considered the sun and moon, and whose head is considered the upper planetary system. This is how the person, the neophyte devotees, if they cannot comprehend the other two aspects of the Supreme Lord, like Paramatma and the Bhagwan aspect, so they can consider this aspect and worship them. But that is only for the neophyte, the starting devotees who doesn't know much about material nature and the spiritual nature and the source behind this. That means the Supreme Lord. So any questions or any comments? Mataji's, Prabhu's, any comments or any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Adhiyagya. Adhiyagya. Adhiyagya.
That is the super soul, no?
Yeah, means Prabhuji, please explain करके दोबारा बताइए. Adhiyagya means.
Yeah, that is, the Lord has three aspects. Okay, one is the Bhagwan aspect, second is the super soul aspect, and other one is the Brahman aspect. Okay, so the usually here in the material world, he has shown Virat Rupa to Arjuna. So this is just to make the atheistic people understand that there is somebody superior. Okay, so he shows his Virat Rupa or universal form, that we are not independent. There is some superior power, super power. So in that Virat Rupa, we can see everything that is there in this material world. The rivers, the oceans, the mountains, the trees and plants, and these are all different parts of the Virat Rupa. And he is devouring everything. It is the time factor, So everybody is going into the mouth of this Virat Rupa. So that means everybody is getting annihilated today or tomorrow. So this is what true. So that is one form of the Supreme Lord for the beginners to understand. But the super soul aspect, who is there in each and every living entity, who dwells just next to the individual soul, along with the individual soul, that is the Paramatma aspect. That is called Abhiyatnya. Adhiyatnya. Okay. And other one is, of course, we know that is Bhagwan aspect. So slowly and gradually, Lord Krishna is instructing Arjuna different aspects and come to the platform of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Bhagavan, the transcendental personality. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have the other aspects. He has the Paramatma aspect, he has the Brahman aspect, he has the Virat Rupa aspect, but unfortunately, the Virat Rupa aspect is only in the material world. It is not there in the spiritual world. Virat Rupa, we don't find Virat Rupa in spiritual world. Okay, Virat Rupa is only in the material world. Universal form is only in the material world. For those who doesn't understand the higher nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is for them, the less intelligent people. Starting, if because especially he is showing the Virat Rupa also in the 11th chapter. Okay, so people will understand, will Okay, how can we worship the Virat Rupa? We cannot worship the Virat Rupa. It is beyond our conception, isn't it? That's why he has given a Archa Vigraha, a small Vigraha, to understand, to worship him. So that is the representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Archa Vigraha, the Sri Murti Vigraha.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. The
Hare-
threefold mysteries is there, no, Prabhu. So that
Yeah.
is different and this is different because in
Yeah.
that also Adi Devik will come.
Yeah, yeah.
in.
That's
This
also
is
Adi, Adi Adhyatmik, Adi Baudik, Adi Devik.
that and
That's
this
also.
are the same, Prabhu. It represents the same.
Now this is different. This also somewhere that words are similar. You know, it is the external. Okay, and this is the super. This is Adi Bhaudika. What is the name? Yeah, Adi Bhuta. You know, this Adi Bhuta and Abhiyatnya, and what is the third name? Adi Devata.
Adi Deva.
Yeah. So this is different, not the one that we know of. That is Adhyatmik, Adi Baudik, and Adi Dev. That is miseries in three different ways.
But in that, the Adi Devik is from the demigod only. It is not from the Supreme
No.
Lord.
No, it's from the
But
demigods.
it represents the Virat Purusha also. So
Yeah.
this is
So in which demigods are also included,
also included. Demigods and the planets,
and
everything are included.
everything, whatever there in the material world is included, because he covers the Virat Purusha. He covers the entire material manifestation. So you cannot, remove anything from Virat Purusha, because his head is the upper planetary system, his the feet is the lower planetary system. So everything is covered, the Virat Purusha, and all the oceans, all the rivers, all the mountains, all the what you call the trees and plants, and the trees and plants are just like the nerves of his body. Okay, so like that. So this is how, just to make us understand that it's not a small person. He is the supreme person. We cannot conceive. So we'll go to the number 5. Andakale cha mam eva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayatasi madbhavam yati nasyatra samchayah. So this is also very beautiful sloka. No. Sorry. Sachi Mataji, please. You read it, or Parag Prabhu and Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Antakale cha mameva ismaran uktva kalevaram ya prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra sanshayah.
Okay,
Hare
translation.
Krishna, Prabhuji, translation. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone at once attain my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Hare Krishna.
So, and whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. So he is telling Arjuna, whoever at the time of quitting this body remembers him alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Now the question is, how can we remember at the time of quitting the body? Are we in the condition to remember him in conscious condition? Even if when we are chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we try to focus on the name, but the mind wanders here and there. For some time, you're okay, Hare Krishna, very consciously. Immediately next mantra, we are out, isn't it? So just imagine at the time of leaving the body, we are totally invalid, we are old, our memory is not working, our eyes, we cannot see properly, vision sight, the sight is not okay, hearing power is not okay, and the voice is not coming, it's choked, and all the limbs of the body are querying, and it's not in good condition. So in that condition, what is the guarantee that we will be able to remember him? It is not possible. When we are physically, mentally in good condition, we cannot remember. So what to speak of, when we are in invalid condition? Okay, so Lord Krishna says at the end of his life, quits his body remembering me alone. So how can we remember him when we don't practice the old life, chanting his holy name? Just like the students are practicing, for so many months to write the exam. Only then they will be able to write the exam. Okay, just like any athlete practice the whole year or so many years just to participate in 1 minute or 2 minute sports activities, then they will be able to bag some awards or whatever it is. But here, without practicing devotional service, without chanting the holy name, how am I going to remember Supreme Lord at the end of my life? It is not possible. Okay, so but Krishna says, whoever can remember definitely attains me. There is no doubt. It's a guarantee. But now it is the ball is in our court. How we can remember him at the time of quitting the body. So in this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also the purest of pure. The word smaran, remembering, is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. So whatever activities we are doing, in our life, suppose a person is throughout, he is doing one particular activity, a politician. Okay, he has been in politics for the whole life. Okay, or he has been, or a person has been in sports the whole life, or a person has been in film industry or life. Okay, or a person is addicted to seeing films the whole life. What will be their nature at the time of leaving the body? What will be the nature? What will be going on in their mind throughout?
The same thing, Prabhuji, what we practice for life, then the end will
Yes.
come the same.
Whatever we are practicing will be reflected in our mind even at the time. And first of all, we don't know at what time we will quit the body. If we know, at least then we can still try, but it will not work that way, isn't it? Even if we know that we are going to die after 7 days, just like Parikshit Maharaj got this bone. Parikshit Maharaj has been a devotee throughout his life. So he could remember and he got the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Whereas we, even if we want to remember him, we will not be able to remember him because we have been indulging or involving in many other activities except Krishna conscious activities. So how is that we'll be able to remember him? Just like the cases of Jadabharata, Ajamila, these are all example. For Ajamila, because he was a pious in the initial stage, he had done so many pious activities, and he got the son's name also similar to the Lord's name. So it was just a blessing for him. Jadabharata, even though the Bharata, King Bharata, even though he has been practicing, but unfortunately he got entrapped in something else. He was remembering the deer, and what he got next life, he got the body of a deer. So these are all examples to illustrate that what we remember at the time of quitting the body, that will attain. So Ajamila remembered Narayana, but then did he attain the spiritual world?
Next birth.
Yes, he got a second chance. Why? Because he was not purified enough to go back home, back to Godhead. But at least he got a second birth from where he could practice properly and go back home, back to it. And at the same time, Bharata, the king Bharata, although he was a devotee, but at last stage of his life, he was attached to a deer and he left his body remembering the deer. He got the deer's body. So it is very clear that whatever we remember, we'll attain that. So that's what Krishna is giving this. So remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya has advised that one be as tolerant as a tree, taror api sahishnuna. There may be so many impediments for a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nonetheless, tolerating all these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that at the end of one's life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. So just like Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram Acharet Pratnyo. From Kaumara only, at least from the age of 5, we should be practicing these Krishna conscious activities, so that by the mercy of the Lord, we will be able to remember him at the time of quitting the body, because the whole life we have been practicing. Okay, although we may be engaged in other material activities, but since we are also practicing Krishna consciousness, we are also chanting Hare Krishna mantra. At any point of time calamity arises, definitely we'll be able to, oh Govinda, oh Krishna. Okay, that will automatically, it should come. So that's how we should practice every day Krishna conscious activities. Instead of saying, something happens, ayo, the moment you hear something, so it comes automatically. So this we have been practicing, right? Now instead of that, you just convert that into, oh Krishna, oh Govinda, oh Janardhana, oh Keshava. Like that, if you start practicing, slowly and gradually will end up saying that name. So even, when we are getting some pain, what do? Whom we call? Whom we call?
We call Ma Prabhu.
So that we have to, of course, mothers that love is always there, but we should call Krishna's name. Okay, or at least you keep the name of the children, just like Ajamila kept the name as Narayana. Okay, so whoever dear, you call out that person's name. When we are in trouble, immediately remember that person. Okay, if he or she was there, he would be girls. Okay, keep Radharani, no problem. Keep Radharani, keep Bhakti Devi, keep Tulasi. It's all same. Because they will recommend.
That's why Krishna Prabhuji, we given her name Krishna. At least we cannot say Krishna, so but at least Krishna is.
At least when we are in difficult condition, immediately we call the near, no? Okay, so we call that name at least inadvertently. Okay, we are calling
that time. We are not. That time, probably we were not in the Krishna consciousness, but God was kind with us that time. At least give us mind.
Yeah, this is how Ajamila also was instructed by a, saintly person. I forgot the name. What is his name? Ajamila was asked by somebody, some saintly personality, to keep his son name as Narayana. So it was also a blessing in disguise. Of course, there was a cause for that, purpose for that. I forgot that person's name. Okay, anyway, so he kept his son's name Narayana. So when he was in, in this condition, when he was totally in a disturbed condition, he immediately called out Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. Actually, he called out his son. But as Lord Krishna claims that there is no difference between his name and himself. Okay, so even if you call inadvertently, jokingly, okay, in a musical entertainment way, Parihasyam, there is a sloka in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is that? Sanketyam Parihasyam va Stopam Elanam Evacha Vaikunda. That means you can, even if you are calling the name of the Lord in a joking way, okay, in a musical entertainment, we'll call out the Lord's name also, and in an indirect way, in an ignorant way, Lord will immediately appear there. Lord will come there. Sanketyam Pari, I forgot that sloka. You remember that? That is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the name and the Lord, there is no difference. But when he is called out indirectly, in an ignorant way, or in a joking way, if Lord is ready to come, just imagine when we are calling him with pure love and devotion, won't he come? Okay, text 6. Any other points? Any other points in this? So,
Prabhu, I have a doubt, Prabhu.
yes, tell me, Prabhuji.
We are remembering God always, but at the time of the death, we forgot to remember Him. So, what will be the case?
What is that? I didn't get you. What is that, Prabhuji?
We are remembering God always, Prabhu, but Krishna. But at the time of death, we forgot to remember it, or by some instance, we couldn't remember Him.
No, then he will remind us. If we are always remembering him, even if we are not in a good condition, our memory is poor, is not working, our hearing power is not there, but he will remind you. He will shower the mercy so that we'll be able to remember him. Because we have forgotten many things, whatever we have. He has not forgotten what we have done to him. He has a complete, accurate account. No, the accounts department is not, like our accounts department, like Parag Prabhu's account department. it is perfect account department. No flaw. He keeps each and every activity that we have done, good or bad, pious or impious. So he knows whom to give the remembrance. He says, what is that? Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mataha smriti jnanam apohanam cha. From him comes everything, not from me. Don't think that it's everything is my own capability or strength. Smriti jnanam apohanam. The remembrance, the knowledge, the forgetfulness, everything comes from him. So if he wants me to remember him, he has to give me that memory or remembrance. Without his giving me, without his sanctioning me, it is not possible. So where it's a false conception that it is because of my ability I'm able to remember him. No. Okay. So there is just like Rakhe Mara Krishna ke Mare Krishna Mare Rakhe ke. That means if Krishna wants to kill somebody, Rakhe Mara Krishna ke Mare Krishna Rakhe ke. So if Krishna wants to kill somebody, who can stop? If Krishna wants to protect somebody, who can stop? So if he wants to give us remembrance, who can stop? So everything is his, sanction only. Without his sanction, nothing is possible. Not even a blade of grass moves without his sanction. Isn't it?
Before this class, Prabhuji, I was speaking to one of my friends, discussing. I said, if you want to give God one profession, so you can give him my profession is accountant only. Why the engineers and doctors are the part-time job for him. Creation and maintenance is a part-time. The main job is to keep the accounting. So we as the accountant will have a better position there. Maybe we can get a better job.
So, this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, 6.2.14. Sanketyam paryasyam va stobham helanam eva va vaikunta nama granam aseshaga haram viduhu. It says, one who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins. Okay, one who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins. Even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else. Now, some people, what is this Hare Krishna people? You're always chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. What is this? It is in a joking way. Okay, isn't it? He's not calling out Lord Krishna's. You tell some people, chant Hare Krishna. I know he'll say, I will not chant Hare Krishna. That means already he chanted. Prabhupada's joke is, we are telling the people, chant, chant, chant. And the people will say, can't. Okay. So one who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins, even if he chants indirectly to indicate something else, jokingly for musical entertainment, or even neglectfully. This is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures. So because the potency of the Lord's holy name is such, So whether you take it directly, indirectly, jokingly, okay, or ignorant way, whatever way, Lord's name has the potency to protect us. So text 6. It is a continuation of that earlier sloka. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat ande kalaivaram tam tam eva iti kaunteya sata tad bhava bhavitaha. Minimadaji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tam evati kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha.
Tarini Madaji, translation please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Whatever state of being one remembers who he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
So whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So further emphasize, further made a clarity. So in what state of consciousness we leave the body, that state he'll attain. For sure. So the example is, as I told you, the Jadabharata. So what was the state of consciousness? He was remembering the deer. He got the deer body. So as I always say, if you remember cockroach, we'll take a cockroach body. Okay. So it is up to us. If you want to remember Lord Krishna, then we have to practice this throughout the life. Now automatically by his mercy, we'll be able to remember him. Purport. The process of changing one's nature at the critical moment of death is here explained. A person who at the end of his life quits his body thinking of Krishna attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. So when we think of Krishna, what we'll get? The transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. What is his nature? Satchidananda. But our nature is only the soul is Satchidananda, the body is matter. It is an incompatible situation. Okay, the soul, the self is Satchidananda, but the body is matter. Panchabhuta. Bhumirapo analo vayu kammano buddhir. Okay, ahankara. So these are our body made up of. But whereas when we attain the transcendent nature, there is no difference between the soul and the body. Everything is Satchidananda. It's not that separate soul is there. Okay, there is a soul and then there is a covering. In this material world, yes, there is a soul, there is a covering. Soul is Satchidananda, covering is material. But in the spiritual world, everything is Satchidananda. There is no difference. So it's difficult for us to comprehend, but still it is how. It is completely. You cannot differentiate the body from the soul in the spiritual world. Here we can differentiate. So that's why he says, Krishna, whoever thinks Krishna at the time of quitting the body attains the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. But it is not true that a person who thinks of something other than Krishna attains the same transcendental state. So yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whoever at the time of leaving the body remembers him will attain the transcendental nature. This is a point we should note very carefully. How can one die in the proper state of mind? Maharaja Bharata, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life. And so in his next life, he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer, he remembered his past activities, he had to accept that animal body. Okay, so it is by the mercy of Supreme Lord Krishna that he could remember whatever he did in the earlier life, that is when he was King Bharata. That was just a special mercy of the Supreme. Do we remember? If we remember, we'll be able to conduct our life the way we are conducting now. Suppose I am able to remember, I was in a family, I had so-and-so parents, so-and-so children, so-and-so wife. If we add all the memory, will I be able to live like this? No, nobody will be able to live that. Even if some
We are not even remembering what happened today morning, Prabhu.
so
No,
this
Prabhuji, Mataji is always remember, Prabhuji.
others always remember. So that's a special mercy given by the Lord. Prabhus forget very fast. Madajis will not forget.
Prabhu, that's why we are keeping Bindi. It is like recording.
Okay. So Maharaja Bharata, although a great personality, thought of a deer at the end of his life, and so in the next life he was transferred into the body of a deer. Although as a deer, he remembered his past activities. He had to accept the animal body. Of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate the influence of one's thoughts at the moment of death. So what will go through our mind at the time of leaving the body is the flashback of all that has happened in our lifetime. Especially, we will have an intuition. Anybody who is, ready to leave the body, anybody who is going through that situation of death, final days, they will have somehow or other some intuition that they are going to leave the body. Most of people, they say, they will have, okay, my days are numbered. Okay, so whatever at that point of time, we will have a flashback of everything that we have done. So our mind will be, it will have a flashback. So at that time, if you have not practiced Krishna consciousness, then we will be remembering whatever has happened in our childhood days, whatever has happened in our youthful days, and all the relationships and all the problems, all the fighting, all the good times, all the bad times, everything will be a flashback. So if, of course, one's thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thoughts at the moment of death. So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life, one lives is in the mode of goodness and always thinks of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. That will help one be transferred to the transcendental nature of Krishna. If one is transcendently absorbed in Krishna's service, then his next body will be transcendental, spiritual, not material. Therefore, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the end of one's life. So this practice of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra is recommended, especially for all of us, those who are influenced by the Kali Yuga. Okay, so we are all living in the Kali Yuga. The simplest method for self-realization is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. There are many paths, many methods. Of all, this is the best. So this is time and again, mentioned here by Srila Prabhupada in his purports, and Lord Krishna also emphasized this to Arjuna, especially of all the different yogas, take to Bhakti Yoga. So any other points? Any other points to discuss in this? No? So we'll read text 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha mayyarpida mano buddhir mam evaisyashi samshayaha asamshayaha. Okay, Radha Mataji. Is that Radha Mataji is there or Hari?
Hare Krishna. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmara yudhya cha mayyarpidamano buddhir mameveshyasya samshayaha.
Translation.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. 1 second. Yeah. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence
fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. Hare Krishna.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. At the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fix on me. You will attain me without doubt. Okay. Mam Anusmara. You know what Lord Krishna says? Remember me. He did not say remember something else. Remember the universal form. Remember the Brahman. Or remember this or remember that. Okay. Telling Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. Therefore, because in the war, there is all the possibilities of getting killed, isn't it? You are going to the war. What is the guarantee that the next moment you will be there? Even otherwise, there is no guarantee. And especially you are in the battlefield. Okay, fierce fighting is going on. So if Arjuna leaves the body in that, in that war field, and if he doesn't think Krishna, what will happen? So that's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, therefore Arjuna, you should always think of me, Mam, and whom he is referring to? Krishna. He is not referring to somebody else. So in the form of Krishna, at the same time carry out your prescribed duty. So you do that, but at the back of the mind, you should be remembering me. So it will be very difficult for us in the initial stage, because as we practice, it will be easy for us. So with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without a doubt. So the instruction to Arjuna is very important for all men engaged in material activities. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagements. So, people will think, you just don't do anything, you sit and chant only. Don't fulfill any responsibilities in the material world. Since we have taken this human form of life and we are in a particular varna or ashrama, we have certain. One second, just 1 second. So we should not, leave from our even materialities. We have to do our material responsibility and duty. At the same time, we have to remember him also. So the prescribed duty assigned to Arjuna is fighting, because he's a Kshatriya. He has to uphold the dharma. He has to take care of the citizen. He has to administer the country. So his duty is to fight and uphold dharma. He is doing that now, but at the same time, Krishna is asking to remember him. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind intelligence in Krishna. By chanting Krishna's name, one will be transferred to the supreme planet Krishna Loka without a doubt. So this is not just the instruction only to Arjuna, but to all of us. Whenever and whatever work we are doing, we have to remember him. We should not forget at any point. That's why Satadam Kirtayanto Mam. Satatam means always. It's not that once in a week, 2 hours, 1 hour you remember, rest, I will take it. No. Satatam Kirtayanto Mam. Yadantascha Drada Vrada. So like that, we have to always remember Krishna. Then we'll definitely, at the time of leaving the body, Krishna, even if we are not in a good condition, physical condition, mental condition, Krishna will bless us. He will shower his mercies so that we'll be able to remember him. So that's what. So to go to his abode, to go to the spiritual abode, we have to remember him at the time of leaving the body. So the earlier two sloka emphasize that, reiterates that, stress that very emphatically. Anta kalecha mam eva smaran muktva kalaivaram yat prayatasi madbhavam yati nastatra samshaya yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajadande kalaivaram yam tam evaidi kaundeya sada tadbhava bhavidah. So this is very clear, and he is further telling Arjuna, You carry on with your duty of fighting, but at the same time, remember me. Mam anusmaran yudhyacha. So, any points?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Here Krishna is insisting only mind and intelligence only, not the false ego or the body, Prabhuji.
No, remembering, the remembering part of it is from the mind and intelligence.
So he's not taking engage your body or your false ego into me. Engage only the mind.
He's already engaging his body in the war. That is also he's doing the prescribed duty for a Kshatriya. Is fighting for the good cause, right cause. That is already engaging, but not the mind and intelligence. The mind and intelligence is, usually when we are fighting, whether will I be victorious? What will happen? Will I get killed or the other party get killed? Will I get the kingdom? No, that mind should not be there. The mind should be fixed on, because he is doing the fight for the satisfaction of Krishna. So body is already engaged, is engaging, but the mind and intelligence is for the sense gratification. Usually, when I'm writing an exam, okay, I'm writing with my hand, the body is engaged. My mind and intelligence also engaged in retrieving from the memory whatever I have studied. But at the back of the mind, we should be able to remember Krishna. Oh Krishna, if I get this exam through, I'll be able to help other devotees in preaching, or like that, something related to Krishna we should be always remembering. And this knowledge what I'm getting will be used in devotional service to propagate here. So like that, we have to always remember Krishna. Otherwise, okay, when I get this education degree, I will get a good job and I will enjoy materially. If that is the thing, that means he is not engaged his mind and intelligence in fixing on Krishna. So he is with manasa, vacha, karmana. Everything is for the satisfaction of Krishna only. That's why he's telling. Yeah.
Sorry, Prabhuji, continue, Prabhuji. Sorry.
No, tell me, no problems.
No, I'm looking for what is the role for the false ego now? The body is in the yuddha and mind and intelligence now for the Krishna. And what is the role to go to the false ego?
So in that case, false ego has no place there, because if from my mind, body and action, everything is dovetailed in the service of Krishna, then the false ego will not come. So I am the person, it is for my enjoyment. That will not come. So that is the real status of a human being. When my mind, words, thoughts, and activity, everything is used in the service of Lord, there is no false ego. Okay. False ego comes only when I think that I want to enjoy by defeating the other party, by getting this kingdom. Okay, so that means it's for myself. So I want to defeat these Kauravas because they are on adharmic side. Okay, but I want to re-establish dharma as per the instruction of Krishna. That is my duty as a Kshatriya. It is not for my sense pleasure, but that is as a duty I am doing. So in that consciousness, if he is fighting, then the false ego is not there. If I am fighting for my sense pleasure, okay, initially he had that, Arjuna had that thinking, why he stopped. He said, I will not fight. He said, there is no enjoyment. I will not enjoy because I'm going to kill my own people. Both the sides are my own people, my cousin brothers. This side also my relatives, that side also my relatives. Okay, so I'm killing my own people. Whether I become victorious or they become victorious, my own people are dying in this battlefield. How am I going to enjoy by killing my own people? There is no enjoyment. And another thing is, if I'm killing these people, I will have to get the sinful reactions, and I will have to go to the hellish planet. So these are on the sense gratification platform. He is not seeing the higher instruction from Krishna. He is not seeing the higher cause that is given by Krishna. Okay, so that is the reason, that in the initial stage, Arjuna was having this perplexion, this problems that everything is doing is on the bodily conception. He never thought of Krishna's instruction. He never thought of the higher cause for having this fight. And the another doubt that by doing this, so many, it's not one or two, millions and millions of people were there. All of these people get killed. All the elders, the family members, the male members gets killed. What will happen? The tradition, the cultures, everything will get destroyed. There will be nobody to train the younger generation. So they will go hither, thither, hey. They will not be able to practice the customs and other Vedic culture and tradition. So these are all his doubts, isn't it? So that is the reason that Krishna is telling, listen to me, Tashrunu, and do what I say. Okay? Don't use your tiny intelligence and for your sense gratification. The instruction is very clear. So if we follow the instructions of Lord Krishna, we will not be at wrong. We'll be always correct, because we are not doing it whimsically. We are listening to the infallible instruction of the Supreme Lord. Error free. He will not have any flaws in his instruction. In our thought process, there may be some flaws. It's not that 100% perfect. We are not perfect, because we are materially contaminated. We have selfish interest. Okay, Prabhuji?
Clear, Prabhuji. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So 8. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya gamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayam. Tarini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya kamina paramam purusham divyam yadi partanu sindayan.
Arun Prabhu, translation please.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me. Undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. Okay, Abhyasa Yoga. So in this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing sound vibration of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue, and mind are engaged. This mystic meditation is very easy to practice, and it helps one attain the Supreme Lord. Purusham means enjoyer. Although living entities belong to the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord, they are in the material contamination. They think themselves enjoyers, but they are not the Supreme Enjoyer. Here it is clearly stated that the Supreme Enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different manifestations and plenary expansions as Narayana Vasudeva. So in the material world, we also think that we are enjoyers. We are not actually the enjoyer, we are the enjoyed. The Supreme Enjoyer is only Krishna. So by chanting this Mahamantra, we are engaging, our ear, tongue, and mind, everything in the service of the Lord. So when we practice this, definitely we'll be able to remember Krishna at the time of quitting the body. And that will save us from the repetition of birth and death. So the devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayana, Krishna, Rama, etc., by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him. At the end of his life, due to his constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga practice is meditation on the super soul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes his mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force to think of Krishna. One example often given is that of the caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly, and so it is transformed into a butterfly in the same life. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives, we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. So the example given is that the caterpillar, when in that stage, always thinks of becoming a beautiful butterfly. It's constant thinking of that. So it will get transformed into a beautiful butterfly. Similarly, we also constantly think of Krishna, who is transcendental, who is Sachidananda. We also get that, that status, that nature when we leave this body. So Hare Krishna. So any points? Any points in this? Parak Prabhu Mataji, anything? Okay. So we'll stop here. I want you all to share the importance of chanting japa. How can we remember Krishna? So how this chanting helps? How did you understand this? How important is this chanting than any other process? There are many processes, but how much importance should we give for chanting than any other various aspects or processes?
Prabhuji, with the chanting, we can use our maximum limbs to use in this process. So the mind can flicker lesser because other limbs are under control on this one. So that's where it will help a lot. So we speak, we listen, and it will be better if we can sit in front of deity or some picture of the God, so our eyes also can be engaged in the same service as well. So mind goes here and there very less in this process, Prabhu. And it's very easy process as well, other than to have any other reading or singing other things. It is easier to do this practice with our limited knowledge and mind. Prabhu.
Okay. And Mini Mataji, what is your understanding?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Krishna.
Prabhu, I normally do chanting whenever I'm traveling. Every time I'm moving around, traveling, going to the office, coming back from office,
Okay.
and whenever I'm waiting for something, I'm doing the chanting, and it is helping me a lot. I don't know about others, but for me, it is helping me a lot in the sense of the fact that my mind doesn't wander around. I'm just constantly trying to chant at that moment. But religiously chanting during the mornings, continuity is not there. When I go to the park for doing my pranayam, on my way I'm chanting. This is and it's helping me in that sense. But I've not actually religiously sat in front of the deity and chanted till this time.
No, but
In
then,
that sense.
but then, Mataji, you should have an exclusive time for chanting. Yes, when you're going to office, when you're coming from office, when you're doing something else, that is all fine. But we should have an exclusive chanting. This is a meeting with Supreme Lord. So
Yes,
suppose you have a very important meeting with your boss,
Yes.
whom you respect very much. You have given a time from 10 o'clock. You will miss that time.
No, Prabhu.
You don't miss now. So
No, not at all.
you see that you be there at 10 and till the time that you have given. So there is a meeting time. So this meeting is with your Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, for half an hour, for 1 hour a day. I don't want anybody in between that. This is a personal meeting between me and the Supreme Lord. Okay, so whether it is in the morning or in the afternoon or in the evening, whenever you get, in a day, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever it is, 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds, 16, whatever you have committed, that you have to do it. Other times it is an extra. So this is a must, because he is the Supreme Lord, and this is an exclusive meeting with the Supreme Lord per day. The person who has given us everything, all that we are enjoying, is given by the Supreme Lord. As I told you last time also, when somebody helps us, we immediately say thanks. Okay, even
Prabhu.
giving,
Yes.
taking a pen from somebody, thank you, isn't it? And this
Yes, Prabhu.
Supreme Lord who has given you this, all this good body, good health, good house, good relatives, good parents, good children, whatever it is. So all this is His mercy. So at least shouldn't we acknowledge for everything? So
Yes, yes, definitely,
this is
Prabhu.
how we can acknowledge Him. So every day, take out some time. If we are working, not necessarily in the morning, but then whenever you get a time, if it is done in the morning, it is a Brahma Murta, it's a mode of goodness, very nice. But due to work and other conditions, we cannot do it. So you have to commit yourself 2 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever it is. Initially to start with 2 or 4, then slowly and gradually we have to. So that will make us remember Him always. I appreciate that you are always standing, when you are working, but there should be exclusive time dedicated for Him. So, because
Prabhu.
why I'm telling this, why I'm insisting this, because 99% of our devotional service depends upon our pure chanting. Okay, 99%. Prabhupada says 99% of our devotional activity or our improvement, advancement in spirituality is depending upon this pure chanting. So we have to give time for this chanting. The rest are supplements.
Okay.
The deity worship, the reading, and everything comes to the pure chanting. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, glorification, attending, all these things a means to come to the pure chanting, offenseless chanting. And when we do this chanting, pure chanting, automatically we will take up the other process of reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, deity worship, going to Dham, association with automatically will come. So it is like that. So chanting is the main business of people in the age of Kali Yuga, and especially the chanting of Hare Krishna Mantra. So every one of us should dedicate whatever it is, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depending upon these things to start with, we should do it. So it's my humble request. If we have not dedicated some time, so please dedicate some time, half an hour in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening after coming from office, whichever time is convenient for you.
Yes, Prabhu. Surely.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So
Thank you so much.
And we may think that, oh, I don't have time. I don't see. It's all our mindset. We have time. We have so much time for so many unnecessary activities. So just write down from morning when we get up till this thing, for our own purpose, introspection, what all things we have done, and you just introspect. Is so and so 1, 2, 3, 4. All that we have done today, is it really necessary for me to do? I'm sure most of us will agree that most of the activities that we have done will not, of no use. So many phone calls, so many net this thing, and so many other activities. Whatever everyone has different activities. So if you write down and just contemplate on that, so this is waste of time. This is waste of time. This is waste of time. We'll get so much extra time, and we'll be able to do that. I'm not, targeting you. I'm targeting even me. Everybody. So we may come with so many excuses. No, that is important. This is important. Is it important than chanting? We have to just ask ourselves. So this is primary. That is secondary. So whatever you have to eliminate from our day-to-day life, which is not important, which can be avoided, we should avoid and give more time for, because as we all know, this human life is very, very rare. Very, very rare. And we are all lucky that we are in the human life. We have the human form, we have the intelligence, and we have the right association, we have the right philosophy, we have the right acharyas to guide us. We have the topmost philosophy of all the philosophy. Prabhupada has given the right philosophy, and we have got the good association. So we have to make use of that, take advantage of the situation. So whoever in this gathering is not given time for chanting, please ensure that you give some time, and slowly, gradually we have to improve. And as you already are doing, well, you are going here and there and doing something else, always chanting within the mind, remember Krishna. That is fine. That is addition. This is apart from, just like this is a quota that I have given to just like, for example, now you are working. Okay. you are getting the salary. How they're counting it nowadays? Of course, everything goes to the account. I mean, the account, bank account. In the previous days, they count it. Suppose you are getting 100,000 rupees. They count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100,000 rupees and give it to you. Suppose the boss gives, I'll just take this thing, some bundles and give it to you. Will you agree to it?
No.
Maybe it is only 10,000. So you want to count and see that the exact amount is there.
Yes.
So in this case also, we need to keep account, because we have promised to this Supreme Lord, I will count. If you don't keep account, what will happen? You know, what will happen if you don't keep account? Today I may chant, tomorrow I will not chant, because I have not taken a vow. So you may end up not chanting. You may end up not chanting at all. So when we take a vow that 2 rounds, 4 rounds, and some or other, even mechanically, no problem. It's not that everybody can concentrate 100%. Even mechanically, we have to chant. So slowly and gradually, we will also get concentration, focus on the names of the Lord. So that's how we have to, cultivate ourselves. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Tarini Mataji, you want to say something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
I know you are chanting very nicely, so many rounds.
Yes, Prabhuji.
How many rounds, if you don't mind?
Compulsorily, I do 16 rounds. Depends upon the daily house chores and other activities. I will chant for 32 rounds. Some days it will become little less.
Very good. So this is commitment.
That is my materialistic activities is reduced because of this, and I keep engaged with Krishna consciousness. But I am trying to do without offense, but I am doing with offense only.
That's okay, no problem. It's slowly and gradually everything will get cleared off, Mataji. At least now, do you think that leaving some materialistic activities is causing some problem? Because of chanting, because you are chanting 16 rounds, 32 rounds, so you are leaving some so-called material activities which you were doing before. Now we are not doing. So is it causing any problem?
No, Prabhuji. Before I used to chat with friends so much time, but now it reduced. But I didn't get any difficulties with that. When I'm happy with that.
Yeah. See this. So much time is there. We think that we have no time. I'm busy doing this, busy doing that. So many things. If you write down every day all the activities that we have done, from morning till evening, many of the activities that we have done maybe it's of no use, simply waste of time. So all of us. No. What is that? Nothing is wasted. She's telling nothing is wasted. So in Krishna consciousness, everything can be dovetailed in the service of the Lord. Okay. So if you want to chat with your friends, especially Mini Mataji, for suppose you have, you want to chat with your friends. Okay, chat. Start with some material activities, then bring them to Krishna consciousness. So chat Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, so you'll know how intimate your relationship is with that person.
Yes, Prabhuji.
If they're interested, they will stick. If they are not interested, tomorrow, next time, if you call them, she or he will say, no, I am some little busy. Can I call you back?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, it's happening.
Hare Krishna. So, and any realization after chanting?
Yes, Prabhuji. I'm little advancing towards Krishna. I feel like that.
Very good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, with all your blessings. Sangeeta Mataji's and
Yes,
senior devotees.
Actually, Tarini Mataji goes to Sangeeta Mataji's class.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sangeeta Mataji only initiated that Krishna consciousness in us. First, she only gave that Krishna consciousness, and she only told that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna. And after that only we are progressing in this. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.